you think this has a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention.
Welcome back to the Throne of the Dragon podcast, the show that covers each and every episode of HBO's House of the Dragon. I am Josh of House Baratheon, and with me, as always, is my loyal bannerman, Curtis of House Lonmouth. Curtis,
Got
I've
a flag.
heard Sir Joffrey Lonmouth called the Knight of Kisses,
No,
but I've heard that they call you the Knight of Noogies.
come on over and see, bro.
You're like a total just biff, like a knight, just
Right.
get over here, bud. Just knocking
If I,
everybody around the
yeah,
yard.
if I see the top of somebody's head, they have their helmet off. I got to go for it, bro.
It's game
I
on.
got to
There's
go
nothing you
for it. It's
can
game
do.
on. Okay, there's nothing you can do. You're gonna let me. It's gonna happen. So you can either just allow it to happen, or this can go down a very dark path, buddy.
You will. I mean, the end result's the same. You will get
You're gonna get the noogie. Okay.
Yeah.
So some people call it a badge of honor, you know. Some people go screaming into the night, but they still get that noogie anyway. No, please. No.
Just
Yeah.
don't noogie Kristen Cole or he'll turn your face into hamburger.
Yeah. I like my face. Sort of. But there's a lot of
Curtis,
shots of him without a helmet on, Josh.
yeah, he's
It's
really
very
not worried about protecting his head.
very tempting. It's very tempting. How tall is he?
It's a trap, Curtis. He's trying to
It's a
invite
trap.
you in.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, what's up? What's up, Josh? Yeah, what's up?
Well, buddy, we are fresh off of episode 7 here, the penultimate episode of season 2 of House of the Dragon. How were you feeling? I had heard from a pre-screening of this that people felt like this was one of the better episodes of the entire series so far.
Hmm. Better episodes? I don't know. I'd probably have to. I don't feel that way off of just one watch. I'd probably have to go back through the season later on and kind of determine which ones are my favorites. But it was good. I mean, I'll just kind of skip to the very end here with the preview for the next week. I hope that everything that they showed me will actually be in this next week's episode, because if you're teasing me with a bunch of cutting room floor stuff that didn't make it, or the possibility of stuff that you may already have filmed from next season, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be very pissed.
Okay, we're gonna go from this into me having actually seen the post episode because it was not there on Hulu when I watched it. So I didn't know. Yeah, it went straight from the bastard sword to nothing. Like there was nothing left in
What?
the yeah. So we're gonna pause briefly. We're gonna come back when I have seen the trailer for next week. Okay, and we are back. I have now seen the
I
after
never
the
left.
episode. Okay, well, I was gone. I've now seen the after the episode, and that seems like a lot of stuff to be in one episode.
That's what I'm worried about. because there was something that was released last week, I think, before last week's episode that showed the run times for the final three episodes. And you would think, oh, season finale will probably be a little bit longer, but I think it was just about the same that every other episode has been basically. So it's
Ugh,
like, ah, crap. How do you feel
that's
about
tough.
season finales doing do you want it to be longer than all the other episodes?
Yeah, I mean a little bit. Give me an extra like 15,
15 to
20
30.
minutes,
Yeah.
you know,
Okay.
like
Yeah.
give me something a little bit extra. Plus, this seems like a lot of stuff, man. But I guess they can probably condense a lot of the Red Keep and Aemon Helena stuff.
Well, and then some of the marching things that you see in the preview, I mean, a lot of that can just be montaged, you know,
Right.
especially with Kristen Cole's little monologue there. You could probably have that montage with that going in the background. But
Yeah. The what was the moment in the trailer that left you the most like, oh, like what is this?
well, I think it's the part kind of like what we just discussed off air. The when Eamon's looking down on that city that's on fire, it's like, wait a minute, what is that place? Is that King's Landing?
Right, it kind of looks like King's Landing, but also kind of not. I
Yeah.
was having a hard time figuring out where that was. Mine was what appeared to be Gawain Hightower pulling his sword on Kristen Cole.
Well, he's probably over it, man.
Did you
He's
catch
probably done
that?
with this.
Well,
Yeah,
Kristen
I
was like
just now
sitting and
yeah,
okay.
I just now passed by it again because I'm trying to go back to the part because I wanted to see again the city on fire, see what more I could see. Because I was trying to watch it earlier, but somebody else was watching it and I wouldn't let me watch it. Yeah, I don't know. Hmm. There's a lot of greenery. Come on, a little more. A little more. Hmm. I think it's too small to be King's Landing, and it's too close to the river. I mean, like, or the river or whatever. I don't know. I mean, what besides King's Landing, what other ones come to your mind that you think it could possibly be?
For this point in the story, I can't really think of where that would be. Where Aemon would also be there.
Is that the Vale, maybe? Or the Riverlands?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. We can sit here and
But I want to
speculate
know
on that
now.
forever. No, you don't get to.
Okay.
We'll get there next week. But for now, Curtis,
Oh.
let's talk about this episode because there is plenty to talk about in this episode.
Well, before we get into this episode, real quick, Josh, may I say, of course, you probably didn't, I don't know, you didn't probably didn't see it because you're on Hulu, but on HBO Max, you always get, the commercial for an episode of, some other upcoming show or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And this week I got the Colin Farrell star. Is it a movie or show? I can't remember of Penguin. And I'm like, I know I've seen him before when he was in whatever the oh God, what's that guy's name? It was on Twilight.
Rob Pat?
Yeah, Rob Patterson's Batman. He's Penguin in that.
Okay.
And do you not know
So
what I'm
now they're
talking
doing
about?
no, and now they're doing a penguin
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on with that, but he looks I say he looks terrible. I think you and I have talked about it before, just like how much makeup he goes through with that. Because it doesn't even look like him, dude.
Really?
Yeah, you should look that up sometime.
Well, I mean, penguin is supposed to look kind of
Yeah,
creepy.
but I want Danny egg. I think you described it, egg-shaped Danny DeVito
Yeah,
penguin.
that is a
Now
perfect penguin.
this version I got, he looks like a mobster. That's all he looks like in this. He looks just like a
Okay.
fat old mobster.
Okay.
Anyway, back to House of the Dragon, Josh, because that's what we're here for. Not
Oh, I
penguins.
thought you were going over with
Oh
that.
no, I'm passing the plate to you.
Oh,
I
okay,
took I
great.
took my spoonful of mashed potatoes. Now you get some.
Okay.
And
Um,
while you're at, pass me those green beans over there.
I asked you how you felt, um, just about the episode
Hmm.
overall, but I felt like everything was on display here this episode, you know?
On
Um,
display.
yeah, except for major, like huge armies fighting each other. I feel like this has, I don't know, this felt more like House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones than a lot of other episodes.
Okay.
And not to discredit any other episodes, but I don't know. I felt it a few times over the course of the episode, all the different stuff with the dragons. It's, it starts. I love how the episode starts. It just goes immediately to Rhaenyra and Adam. I'm going to keep mixing them up. Adam
Yeah.
on the beach. Um, and just the screaming between Cyrax and Sea Smoke, like two dragons that are already familiar with each other, but
Right.
very protective of their riders, and how they have these different like vocal patterns and vocal sounds and stuff for each individual dragon.
Hmm.
You got to hear that a lot too with Vermithor and Silverwing, just really cool and good attention to detail. Um, but yeah, the stuff there I thought was really cool, just an example of that. But then also when they were in there trying to tame Vermithor, that was brutal.
Hilarious.
Like people just getting eaten left and right,
Yeah.
everybody's getting burned. Like, yeah,
That
that
was
was
a
something.
crazy bad.
Yeah.
Which you had to think, okay, going into this like this is, I mean, in the end, somebody may come out on top, but this is not going to go well, you
Yeah,
know?
a lot of people are going to get killed for two people to be able to claim these dragons.
Yeah.
Um,
Even though it was still, I mean, I'm still waiting for the floodgates to open. And I know that all of this is building towards something sooner or later, right? To where, like I was saying, the floodgates are going to open. You get all these battles, a lot of moving parts, so on and so forth. We're still kind of in that political stage, that people talking in the room stage.
mhm.
But this, I'm with you. Like, kind of what you're saying is like this episode kind of felt like it was more like it felt like we were kind of crawling in the last couple of episodes. This feels more like a good walking pace, building up to what I feel like is going to happen here in the last episode of the season, at least from my prediction that I told you off air last week. Um, so yeah, there was something else I was going to add to that, but I forgot. I just, just the last couple of weeks just felt so like we're just spinning our tires at times. There's doesn't really feel like there's progress with some of this stuff
For
until
sure.
yeah, until this one comes along. It's like, okay, now we're kind of getting going now.
Right. I definitely get what you're saying. I mean, for me, it's never been, an episode with bad storytelling or something,
No, 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 no.
because there's a lot I've enjoyed a lot of this stuff that Damon's been going through at Harrenhal,
Hmm.
because it's all led to the moment in this episode,
Right. Yeah. Yep.
where he swallows a lot of his pride multiple times
Yeah.
to a child that is
Yeah.
really putting him in his place.
Yep.
So yeah, I've just seen a lot of continued growth from Damon.
Yeah.
Um, you know, because I really kind of worried about where they might try to go with Damon because they made it clear early this season that he wants the crown for himself.
Right.
But I think I've mentioned before, like that's not really a book thing.
No, no, no.
So I kind of wondered how far they were going to take this. But when you start seeing a lot of that Harrenhal stuff really breaking him down, it's like, light bulb comes on. It's like, oh, okay, this is how they're going to bring him back
Right.
around to being, no, I just have my purpose, my one purpose here.
Right.
And beyond that, it's
Yeah.
not. So,
Yeah, I agree.
um,
I'm not like weird. Not complaining about like I don't want this at all. I mean, I know it serves a purpose, these last couple of episodes. But yeah, I think it's the animal inside of me, Josh. I want the blood,
right. No,
I want the I
I,
want the I want the battle of the bastards type episodes, you know?
yeah, for
So,
sure.
but
Yeah, it just has felt
especially when I
like,
know that it's coming, that I know
yeah,
their battles are coming. It's like, come on, come on, come on.
yeah,
Yeah.
it just felt like a long time coming. When we
Yeah.
first found out we were getting House of the Dragon, there's going to be a show about the Targaryen Civil War. I don't think we really knew how much of it they would cover, how early they would start in all of this.
Yeah.
The show starts with the Great Council and then moves forward pretty quickly, but it arguably could have started at the beginning of Jaehaerys's reign, because a lot of these problems start in their earliest form with his children,
Right. Yep.
either not wanting the throne or not being responsible enough to take
Was
the
a
throne.
burden. Yeah.
He only has a couple good ones out of the batch. Like there's only a few good ones. A lot of their kids are real problems.
Which I kind of feel like I wish they would have like kind of dove a little more into that. I mean, I get like you probably really didn't need all that. I mean, never mind. I'm gonna shut up. Oh man. I don't know.
Well, and like how not even just that, but also the issue that rises with Rhaenys because he wants to put a male heir ahead
Yeah.
of a female heir.
Right.
They
Yeah.
even say that's probably the one fault with Jaehaerys is that comes out a couple times that he obviously wants, he never explicitly says it, but he wants a man to rule.
Yeah. He implies it.
He implies it. He heavily implies it.
A heavy imply. Yeah.
What was your favorite part of the episode?
Ooh, favorite part of the episode. Probably the vermithor,
Vermifor.
vermithor.
I
The
choose you, Vermifor.
yeah, oh God. I wonder if they thought about trying to throw a Pokeball at him. Um, no, probably the taming of Vermithor. Um, and probably because one of my favorite scenes from season one, Josh, was the final episode in season one, and Damon's uh, walking through the caves singing the Valarian song, and especially after reading the book and going back and watching, it's like, oh my god, that's Jaehaerys's dragon. It was like
There he
fist pump
is.
moment, bro. Like, there he is, and he's so old looking, and he's sick. Oh my god, sick in a good way, not like sick like he's got a disease. But
It's so
so
brutal.
right, so seeing him again, And knowing that it wasn't going to end well, well, I mean, I don't know. Because it just kind of depends on how you look at it. A lot of people died. A lot of bastards died, um, which is funny because they're like, "Yeah, we're going to build an army of bastards. Then we're going to kill most of them
We'll kill most of them.
accidentally.
Yeah.
Got to kill the many to save the few." Josh. Um, Yeah, but probably just that part. I mean, it was one of those where it's like I knew that he wasn't just gonna be like, oh, he's gonna take somebody and everybody rejoiced and then they all, went back for a great feast, or whatever. You knew that there was gonna be some trouble, but sooner or later probably somebody was gonna either Hugh or Ulf was probably gonna take hold of him.
Right. They
And Hugh
definitely
did.
highlighted those two guys
Right.
as, nobody else got that much screen time. None of those
Yeah.
random targs in the mix there.
Well, that poor guy with the sideways face, man.
It is
Jeez.
funny that when you get that many of them together, how obvious it is that they're all Targaryen
Right.
bastards,
So you're like,
Just
well,
in
they
a
don't look
crowd of
alike.
people, like you might not look at some of these people twice, but some of them it's just so obvious.
Yeah. Man, what did you think about the dragon I'm gonna call them the dragon monks? Their little announcement of not helping.
A lot
I
of
mean, I
people are,
respect it,
yeah, a
you
lot of
know.
people are upset about this because,
Uh
Jace is
yeah.
incredibly upset about this. Um,
I just didn't see that coming. Because that was my other thing too, is like when she shows him, here's what you need to do. He's got to accept you, blah, blah, blah. And then she's just like, all right, I'm out of here. I can't say any more to you. I was like, what the hell are we supposed to do?
right,
I,
yeah, they
I,
don't
I don't know
know any,
Valyrian.
they don't know any Valyrian or anything to really help
Yeah.
them
And
out.
that
That
was
was
what
kind
was
of a
crazy
dick
too.
move.
It's like, yeah, I'm like, what? They don't know Valyrian. What are you doing? You know,
Yeah,
they don't have the sticks to poke them. Back up. You know,
yeah.
oh, it'll still make me laugh thinking about that. Like, what are those sticks gonna do, bro? But yeah, I was
We
kind of like
talked
you. I
about
was
it. It's
like,
like the
it's
it's like the whip and the lion tamer. The
yeah,
whip can't kill the lion, but it's
it's just
taught
gonna
to
piss
fear
him
it.
off. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's a stick. Dogs fetch it.
Um,
What about you, Josh? What was your favorite part?
my favorite part, the the part in the dragon pit was, or not the dragon pit, like on Dragonstone where they're working with Vermithor. That was pretty cool. It's where everything starts going wrong and it's just a lot of like chaotic camera movement,
Ah!
and most of it's in darkness with like just a
Yeah,
little bit of flame around and that one light coming through the cave.
yeah.
So just really well done. Um, Man, there was something else. What was it? I was just thinking about it while I was talking about that. Oh, I also really liked the end. Um,
Ah, the show of strength.
yes, like how they laid that trap for
Mm,
Aemon and he just fell right into it.
yep.
He is strong enough now, though we know his bond is strong enough with Vagar that he can control her a little better than he could before
Yeah,
with Luke.
right, for sure. But yeah,
But
you're
yeah,
right. He fell right into that trap, man. And
yeah,
that's
when
what I
he
was thinking. I
was
was like, at first I was thinking, oh crap, because I just thought maybe that he got, well, I just kind of felt like Ulf just like kind of took him out for a ride. Silverwing.
that was my first thought because I was like, well, she's familiar with that
Right,
route back and forth between Dragonstone and
right.
King's Landing,
And
so
so when he got on Vagar, I was like, oh crap, he's on your tail. And then
yeah.
I realized, oh no, there's Dragonstone. I was like, oh, don't go to Dragonstone, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you knew what was going to happen there. So yeah, I did enjoy that ending. I was like, okay, that's a good way to end there.
Yeah,
So
that would have been Vagar against Vermithor, Silverwing, um, Cyrax,
Cyrax and Sea Smoke.
Sea Smoke, and Vermax.
Yeah, Vermax. Yeah, I was about to say what's Ceres's. Well,
Yeah,
what
so that's
about
5-on-1.
yeah, but
Oh,
what
and
about
Moondancer.
yeah,
So that's
Moondancer, yep.
six on
Hmm.
one.
Yep. Even though he's the biggest one out there, you're not taking that down.
No.
Nah,
He
you're not
might
gonna.
take a couple of them out, but
Yeah,
you're going down for sure.
yeah, for sure.
Um,
Another day, another time, Josh. Another place? Question mark.
I think some of the other um things that I really liked in this one were oh
Whoa,
oh man.
he
were
got bored by this episode.
when the Tullys come to Harrenhal.
Oh,
Like that
bruh.
opening scene where they come in and it's just like them riding through on their
Hmm.
horses, Harrenhal in the background, and then little Oscar at the back there, like looking around.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you, Josh. I like this new Oscar Tully.
Oh, me
Okay,
too.
I like
Yeah.
him. He's got a little grouchiness to him. Huh? Huh? Get it? Get it?
Well, Curtis, he lives in a trash can.
Live in a trash can.
He's inherited a trash can that Damon is
No,
running.
but in all seriousness, I am enjoying this new Oscar Tully. He's still trying to figure it out. He
Right.
recognizes that, and he recognizes that he has to earn people's respect because of his youth. But I do like the back and forth backhanded compliments between him and Damon, especially in front of the River Lords.
Dude, and
That was
how
pretty
he
good too, man.
like not even just that, but then he pulls that on him at the end where he's like, you gotta make this right, dude. If you want
Yep.
our army, like you get justice here right now. And
Yep.
totally just puts him on the spot.
Yep. It's like,
And
oh,
yeah, so that was another
crap.
thing I wanted to talk to you about. Um, at first I was like, oh, yep, he killed Willem Blackwood, you know? But going back and watching that a few times, that little scene, it does not look like that blade is going anywhere near Willem's neck. It looks like he cuts off like Willem's arm.
Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
would say watch that part again. I
Okay.
watched it a couple times. I don't know if he's going because I feel like they would have shown us. Like they showed us Lord Darkling
Yeah.
getting his head cut off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they definitely would have shown us that. It really looks like he comes down on like Willem's arm,
I wish you could do this in slow mo. That sucks.
which I thought was interesting. But yeah, because I don't know if they're gonna bring in Benjamin Blackwood or Ben Blackwood. That'll just be one of those things. We don't know how many of these characters they're going to condense into the people. There's thought that a character, Roddy the Ruin, a lot of his stuff will just be done by Cregan Stark instead. Are you looking at it right now?
Oop, yep. Am I on now? Okay, I am.
What
Yeah,
do you think?
that's what I was saying. I wish there was like a slow mo button or playback that was like makes it slower, but because I can't really tell. It's kind of hard to kind of rewind and go back and forth too, and then
If you're watching it on the computer, you can just go to the frame.
yeah, that's true. I'll go back. I don't know. It's interesting. I didn't think about that though until you said that.
I think
Ah,
that
so
Godswood
close.
scene, though, is going to go up there in my top scenes for the series so far, for sure.
Okay. It was a
All the
good.
River Lords being gathered there, Oscar Tully, Damon being put on the spot.
Here's another question. Okay, let me ask you this though. Wouldn't you think though if he did cut his head off, there would have been some blood splattered on his face?
Yeah.
So there's not that either. Although I'm going to tell you something, Josh.
It goes straight into
And
this
I,
game. It goes straight into this Viserys vision, though. So, like,
well,
how much of it was real, even?
well, that's what I was about to say. I think I've mentioned this before, but I'm at this point where it's like I don't know what any if any of these scenes are even real with Damon anymore.
Yeah.
What's real and what's not real? Yeah,
Yeah, I had that thought too, because it goes straight into that scene with Viserys. And yeah, I don't know. It made me wonder how much of that actually happened, if any.
okay. Man, I am at like a perfect spot here. It has to be his head though, bro. I don't know. Uh,
Interesting. Maybe he hasn't.
yeah,
I don't know. We'll find out next episode kind of the what the fallout of this is or how this goes, but I mean the armies are rallied next episode, so we'll see, what really happened there, but it is fun to speculate over that, what especially with a lot of this Harrenhal stuff, what's real, what's not. We don't get a lot of that in Game of Thrones, so just
yeah,
visions people have, which kind of feel fewer and far between. So,
true. Okay, I am sending you a screenshot of what I'm looking at. When you get a chance, look at it. Um, like there was something else I was gonna say about this.
okay, yeah, just a little higher up.
Well, and then my other thing too is like his hands, like it would have to be if you're going off the hand theory, it would have to be his right hand. And because his head's in the way of his left hand and his right hand is too far back, I feel like. And now that I say
Yeah.
that out loud, I feel like we are nitpicking this scene.
I mean, this stuff's
It's
important though,
important, man. It's important. How many times have we talked about it? It's in the details. I don't know, man.
We will see. We will see. Okay, let's go back here.
Can't stop looking at it. Hmm. Anyway,
Um,
great scene. Excellent scene.
do you want to talk a little bit about Aegon's physical therapy?
Physical man, you read my mind. I was gonna say physical therapy. First off, my God, Aegon looks like he's 80 years old.
Yeah,
Uh,
he looks
I told,
rough.
I said it to you before the beginning of this episode. I believe he has moaned and groaned more in the last two episodes than Viserys did in his whole reign, or at least that we got to see. Um,
Yeah, I
and I
mean,
love,
you gotta have some dignity, you know?
yeah. I do like the line. I did laugh at it of Lars Strong's. Your progress is impressive.
Yeah.
On what level, dude? You are in such denial.
Compared to what?
Compared to what?
Yeah, but
But
I mean, he's gotta get
for
him ready to
sure,
move.
for sure, yeah. And that was in the back of my mind. It's like I know why he's saying that. Because then you see it more when he's talking to the Maester later on, saying, you got to get him, you got to get him moving, you got to get him moving. It's like he doesn't have the strength to do anymore today. Like, no, you don't understand, dude. You got to get him moving. I got to get him out of here. But I will say, Josh, who has it worse, Aegon or the Goon Squad, who are now sentenced to the wall?
I really thought when they brought him out there that they were just gonna execute him before they
That's
said
what
the
I
wall.
thought. Why not? I'm surprised Eamon even allowed them to go to the wall.
Right. That is odd. He's never really seemed to care about that at all.
Yeah. Uh,
Um, but yeah, you asked me who has it worse, them or who?
Aegon and his physical therapy.
Oh, probably Aegon. I mean, it's gonna suck for them at the wall, but
Yeah.
still.
Ah, can't tell you how many times I thought about that guy and his hand getting cut off.
I watched, yeah, I mean, I watched the last week's episode before. Oh yeah, and I gotta say, I was super far off on the Lannister numbers. Um, they had like around 1,000 knights,
Yeah.
but then they had 7 times as many archers and
Oh,
free riders. So there's another like 7,000 guys with their group at least.
okay. But that other group only had what, 500, 900, something like that?
Right, but you got to think. So this is set up like medieval Europe, you know?
Right.
When you're calling in armies, guys are, lords are providing you with like 200 dudes,
Yeah, yeah.
and you have like 30 lords that supply you 200 dudes, and then you're in decent shape.
Right.
Um, but yeah, so that's, kind of how you got to think about it. But yeah, these smaller houses, like the guys, I can't remember who it is, but the guys who hold the golden tooth, that's, they're not going to have the numbers that the Lannisters are going to have.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
So this, the Starks are
Nor
going
the
to have
Lions.
more men than the,
Oh my gosh, man.
well, I guess the Boltons are going to have probably about as many. But, some of their small houses, they're going to have more than the Mormonts.
You got some good looking skin there. Be a shame if you lost it, Josh.
Hey, stop trying to cut his skin off.
You're right. Get off me, man.
Hey, cut it out.
Stop it, man. When you get off me, stop. Yeah.
I wondered before they started pulling the dragon seeds out what the plan was, like what they had going. Because they're passing these messages, it goes through all these channels, and
Yeah. By the
Corlys
way,
tells Alan that they're going to need these fishing boats out there with
right,
their men on them, and that they to wait. He says to like wait for a signal.
right. Like, could you not stand out anymore in a crowd with a red cloak on?
Right. Yeah,
I
that's a little.
mean, come on.
I mean, it
Really?
might be so that all these people in
First,
Masaria's network know that that's
yeah,
her.
for sure. But it's like
But
you're
yeah, it is
standing out
very,
way too much, bro.
yeah,
Way too much.
for
I mean,
sure.
why don't you
Everybody
just
else
throw
is
on
dressed
like,
pretty drab.
right? Why don't you just throw on purple? I mean, what's this person doing down here? This
Yeah,
bougie, rich person. Yeah, I was like, poor choice.
right,
I'm with you. I get why it's supposed to be a sign, but come on.
right. Maybe your belt is red, or like, something like that. Something a little
Right,
less in everybody's face.
right. Hey, I've got red on. Yeah, for sure.
I also thought I think that's telling that conversation between Corliss and Adam. Um, when Corliss kind of lets him know that Alan's claimed sea smoke, and that, he thinks it might be something in their blood if that's,
Adam. Wait.
yeah,
I
Adam,
thought,
sorry.
yeah, I was okay. Yeah, yeah.
Um, and that he thinks that might be something in their blood. So, it was almost like him hinting at like, if you wanted to try, that's on the table. But um, he gives him the line, no, I don't have any aspirations for that. Like, I'm of salt and sea.
Which is funny because I did read I don't want to get too much into the books, but I have seen where I see the connection of what you brought up last week with Zarela that's in the
Raina
veil.
or Bela.
Reyna.
No,
Bela.
Raina. Raina. Raina's
Okay,
in the
Reyna
veil.
and Bela. Okay. Okay. Reyna in the veil. We both talked about it seems that they're driving her towards possibly claiming sheep stealer.
Yes,
And so
in
I
place
had
of
read
Nettles.
before where correct. Yeah. Well, and then at the same time too, he tries in the books, apparently he tries to claim sheep stealer, but to no avail and actually gets injured apparently. But and then Nettles claims sheep stealer. So I can see now where that's going with them coming out with him saying, I don't even want to try. I'm Salton Sea. That's the end of it.
Right. And you got to think
So
that that is setting him up to be Corliss's heir.
for sure. Yeah.
Like that
Yeah, for
was,
sure.
the conversation between Bela and Corliss.
Right. And he's the oldest too, isn't he?
Yes,
Yeah. So I
there
agree.
it is.
There it is. It has our seal of approval.
Boo. What would you make of Reyna as they're leaving the Vale?
Well, I mean, I knew what she was going to do. She's going after, she sees an opportunity and she's
Right.
going to take it,
Yeah.
you know? So I don't blame her.
Kind of hate that she's leaving the kids, but
It's going to play a part.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that is kind of interesting though. Again, though, I mean, we're kind of going off a little bit from the books with her and what possibly might be coming. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with her trying to claim a dragon.
Yeah.
So,
I'm ready to see Sheep Stealer. It's
uh,
supposed to be about the size of Vermithor, like a little bit
ooh,
smaller.
okay. I haven't even
So,
seen pictures,
well, I
mock
mean,
drawings
Lady
or anything.
Jane said it's a formidable dragon, like
Yeah,
it's substantial.
right.
Um, in the last episode, that was something I don't think I brought up, but when she's talking to Bela about Sheep Stealer, and she says that rumor of it first started after the war. And then I started thinking, I was like, wait, what war? I was like, does she mean the conquest?
Nah.
Or
Well,
the war between Magor and Aegon the Uncrowned? Or the war between the faith and the crowd?
so this says Sheep Stealer's dragon egg hatched when the old King Jaehaerys first Targaryen was still young. It is unclear if that means in the early years of Jaehaerys' reign, thus in or after 48 AC, or generically during his youth, thus in or after 35 AC or 34. So,
But again, the show has made it different because
yeah, I know.
Moondancer
I'm
is
just
very small. Like
right.
Bela, yeah. So I feel like the show makes it about the size of like Vermax, but yeah, Moondancer is very small. So, them saying that Sheep Stealer for show canon, like
Well, okay,
I
but then
guess could have
even
gotten there after any of these wars.
well, that's what I'm going to say. Then it's like, okay, if we're obviously deviating from the book, which I only mention that because it's just the firm
Right.
foundation of what we have, because the show doesn't give us a whole lot of history of different things.
Yeah.
But so it's like, okay, then what war could it even be then? like what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just don't know which one she's talking about.
Yeah,
So,
that's weird.
yeah.
What war? Tell
What
me.
war?
Tell
What
me.
war?
Yeah.
Um, what the heck is Allison doing out there in the Kingswood? What's she doing?
Well, I would like to take it as in Peaky Blinders terms, quote, uh a lost weekend or getting lost.
Okay.
I obviously she's from what we see in the preview, it's not like she's totally gone because she comes back in some sort of way, but she really makes it sound like she's not coming back. Which I'll tell you, I feel bad for is it Rickard? Is his name? I
I
think
can't
that's right.
remember.
I think that was right. I feel bad for him because it's like he just got done having to babysit the goon squad and clean up their mess. And now immediately she's like, "Oh, I want to go out for a ride. Just you and me." Oh God, I'm an old man. What do you want from me, people?
Right.
Yeah. It's been a hard day. It's been a hard day for him. But yeah, because I did wonder, I was like, oh shoot, because I know she's supposed to be a lot different than Book, um, character wise, but it's like, oh shoot, are they really gonna like just kind of have her ride off into the sunset? Or kind of pull like Auto Hightower where you just kind of like disappear for a while, but then like maybe reappear later on?
Well, no, I mean, I don't think so. I think she's just kind of she doesn't know
Need
what
to take a
she's doing
walk.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And but she's got to be there for a lot of the stuff that happens later. She's got to be in King's Landing. So I don't yeah, she's definitely not gonna Tommy Shelby check out. Like
Yeah.
she'll be around. I just think yeah, this is a very like I'm gonna take a drive kind of moment.
Yeah. Take a walk. Take
Yeah.
a walk. I like the back and forth at the beginning of the episode between Laris and I always forget his name when they're talking about silver or smokes
Oh,
sea smoke
Iron
sighting.
Rod,
Yeah, Iron Rod.
Jasper Wild.
Uh yeah. When they're going back and forth of well, I heard this. Now, you could tell Eamon. He would love to hear that. Oh, no, 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 no. I'll allow you to tell Eamon. Oh no. No, you go ahead. You're the
I
master of
insist.
whispers. Yeah, no, I'd really
He's
rather
like
not. Why don't you do it?
he's like, actually, dude, that information is garbage. So
Right.
I'm not gonna pass that along.
So why don't we just let this one just kind of slip away?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is funny because like you can obviously tell what Lars is doing. He's like, yeah, I don't. What they going, bro? Yeah,
And what can you even do? They're on Dragonstone. You can't mount any kind of naval assault on them. If you take
right.
Vagar there, which is your, well, other than Tessarian, which is your only remaining dragon in play right now, like what? And we see in the trailer that he asks Helena to
Well,
bring Dreamfire into the fight. And I think we
right.
all know that that can't possibly happen because there's no way Helena, of all people, is going to be
No.
out there burning people down.
Well, and that's what I was going to say too, is like at least, I guess maybe at least if you add the information now, you could go ahead and start trying to like match that number instead of what we ended up getting at the end of the episode with, oh crap, there's all these dragons and it's just me and Vagar.
Right. But here's the problem they don't have, I'm sure they have eggs,
Yeah,
but they don't have, there's no other dragons like in the dragon pit.
right.
So,
We do have word of Darren's dragon ready to
yeah,
join the
that's why I
fight
said,
too.
yeah, Tessarian.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I didn't hear you
Uh,
say that. I'm sorry.
oh, sorry. But yeah, that's the advantage that the Blacks had going into this stage of it, is
Right.
that they have unclaimed dragons on the Dragon Mount, and they also have wild dragons there on Dragonstone. So
Right.
yeah, they were already ahead of it. The only other chance that Aemon might have had is if he knew that Sheep Stealer was in the Vale. Maybe, they could have
Right.
gotten a similar result, but
Hmm.
yeah. But now this is going to put, Sheep Stealer, just another one on the side of the Blacks.
Right.
So brutal.
Brutal. Brutal.
Okay. When we were talking about Hugh, we didn't talk about this.
Oh my God.
Did you figure out how Hugh is related here? How he's a
Yeah.
Targ bastard?
Jaharis?
No.
No? Viserys?
No?
Well, I
Think
thought
about it.
she, I
His
thought,
mom was the Targ one.
oh, really?
His mom had silver hair,
Oh, man.
and he was ashamed of her. And she said that he was just as much Targaryen as her brothers.
Was she, but he named Viserys and Daemon, though, right?
Um, I don't think
Uh-oh.
he named those as his brothers
We're going back to the drawing board here.
or
Yeah.
her brothers. No, those would have no, 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 no. Yeah, go back and look at that for me real quick.
Yeah, well.
But I took it to be that it was Sarah was his mom.
Okay.
Maybe not, but
By the
I
way,
can't.
their daughter died because he did mention I couldn't keep our daughter alive.
I think so.
So
Yeah.
she must have died.
Yeah. She was not doing well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's probably part of, I mean, that's part of what's made him so desperate in this. Like his wife was totally against it, and he was still like, no, I'm going.
Right.
What do you got for me?
He says she used to tell me, and the way he puts it too, I was no different to her brother's boys. So, okay, you may be right then
Yeah,
it could
her
be
brothers
Sarah.
would have
Okay,
been
okay. Well,
Balon.
I remember the way that he said it the first time I was listening. I was like, that makes no sense to me. My brain couldn't handle the way he said it the first time. Okay, okay,
Well, when he said it, his mom had the silver hair. I immediately
right,
went to like, okay, who could be his mom? And then I just traced it back from there. So I was like, oh, this has got to be Sarah.
okay. I missed that part where he said she had silver hair. Okay,
Yeah, that's my thinking anyway.
okay, okay. Which makes sense from what we've read in the books. So
Yeah,
she's a whore. Hey, Jaharis said it. I did.
he said it.
I'm just repeating his words. If I think the correct term was a Lysini whore.
Lysini. Um, I don't really think I have much else. We didn't really talk about it very much, but where are you standing on Alan right now? Or Adam? God,
I mean, I don't have a problem with them. I don't have a problem with either one of them.
I know, but how are you feeling about his? I don't know. Do you feel like this is just? Do you feel like you can trust him?
Who can you trust in this show, Josh?
Right. Truly.
So, no.
So
But
no.
that's just, well, But that's just a deal where it's like, I think that about everybody, because I know that it's not your typical story. There's going to be a lot of twists and turns. Not saying that I know what those twists and turns are, but it's like, I know that we talked about it before. There's no real winners in this. Everybody loses, and it's not just going to be
Right.
a straight shot. There's going to be a lot of going this way, and now we're going this way, and then we're going this way, and this and that. There's going to be a lot of crazy stuff to go on, and there's a lot of sense of, okay, what's that guy doing? What's he want? I said in the last episode with Masaria, I still don't trust her, dude.
Well, okay, yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to say that I felt like I saw a shift in her. Like when she
Okay.
started talking about bringing the bastards into this, but I could see how there could be a falling out between them. I can
Hmm.
like already see it here in this episode. There were just like some underlying things that I felt like,
Is it the talk of highborn and lowborn?
yes, and that I always, I feel like she's always going to be more, she's like Varys.
Yeah,
She's always going to be on the side of those people no matter what.
right.
Doesn't matter the ruler, they're
Mm.
always going to be on the side of those people.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think later on, it's going to be really hard to defend the actions of a lot of these lowborn people because,
Right.
yes, people get in desperate situations, but these people turn into freaking animals.
Savages, man. Yeah,
Like it goes beyond like beating each other up for food. It goes into complete savagery.
right. Yeah.
So it's hard to support the small folk when they're just doing violence for violence sake.
Mhm. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I entitled the march to the sea and then the sail back to Dragonstone. I entitled that Blondes on Parade.
Blondes on parade. Oh yeah, I also wanted to point out, of course, that's on that side of King's Landing where there's absolutely
That's what
you
I
just do whatever you
That's
want, bro.
every
Come,
time.
go.
Yeah.
For some reason, nobody's
Ah.
getting in
Have
or out of the city, but
yeah.
like we just got like 100 people out through the same place,
And we're
all
all
down
just
the same
we're
beach
all
into the
walking
same boats.
upright in the same line. And you can put as many ships out there in the sea as you want. We're not gonna see a dang thing, bro.
Yeah. Hope it's cloudy tonight.
Oh, if it's cloudy, bro. Whoa, it's cloudy every night down here.
That's
Yeah,
the
I'm with
game
you too.
plan
Because
for
that's
like every move they've been making on King's
yeah.
Landing the last couple episodes. They're like, hope it's cloudy out on the Blackwater
Cue
so
the
we can
clouds.
sneak in.
Right. Yeah, I immediately thought of you when I saw that scene. I was like, oh, how convenient. This one blind spot in King's Landing that nobody can see anything going on.
You could do whatever you want there.
Yeah, anything.
Anything goes there.
Sex on the beach.
Yeah, I think that was all I had for the episode. Do you have anything else?
Not for the episode. I do have a question on Westeros history, Planetos history. Now, Josh, naturally, I could have just looked this up. Okay, could have just Googled it. Could have Googled it. But I decided to ask you and to test your knowledge too. Um, has I don't remember. I was going back listening to the audiobook of Fire and Blood the past week or two, and I don't remember what part. It was during Magor's reign, but they were naming off some different houses and lords and such, and it made me think. Surely there are houses that are no longer exist. They've been wiped out, whether in wars or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Is there a lot?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay. Are
Let's
we
go back
talking
to, I mean, let's
hundreds?
go back to the conquest,
Thousands?
man. House Gardner was wiped off the face of the earth,
Okay.
like in the Field of Fire. Like House
Okay.
Gardner was the Lords of the Reach. They were, yeah, they traced their lineage back to like the first men. Boom,
Okay.
gone.
Boom, God. I like that.
Um,
There was I think Magor, they didn't say specifically. I think they kind of hinted though that he wiped out a couple in retribution.
yeah, but I don't remember.
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head who they were, but
Yeah, I don't remember from Magor's like. But
scorched earth.
another big one that, yeah, I think is only really like kind of referenced in Game of Thrones though is House Rain.
Hmm.
And they so that's the one that Tywin Lannister dealt with. They had like they had borrowed like a bunch of money from Tywin's dad, and he had gotten super soft and wasn't like calling in any of his debts,
Hmm.
and basically just being made to look like a fool in front of all his bannermen. So Tywin kind of takes the lead on it, and he traps them and drowns them essentially and wipes out like their entire house.
Gotcha. Debt
So
erased.
yeah, there's a bunch of houses that get snuffed out over time. Those are the two biggest ones that jump out to me. House Durrandon, that was also during the conquest. I mean, it became House Baratheon.
Right.
But
Okay.
yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of houses that have just disappeared over time.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
for
getting better. I'm getting better. I'm stacking days, Josh. Stacking days. I'm figuring things out. I've been studying my maps. It's all coming into
it's,
picture.
it's getting clear.
It's a big puzzle. It's a million piece puzzle. And I've only put about 10 pieces together. So gotta get that border going first. Yeah. But that's
All
all I had,
right.
Josh. Till the next episode.
Until the next time.
Till the next time.
And that next time, Curtis, will be next week for the
Oh.
final episode,
Oh.
episode 8, season 2 of House of the Dragon.
Boo.
But don't worry, Curtis,
Huh?
because after that, the following week, we've got an episode we're going to be talking, not crazy, but we're going to be talking some book show comparisons, some things that they changed, some things they
No.
kept the same,
No. I'm a
some
peacock,
things
Josh. You gotta let me fly.
some things that we felt like worked really well that they might have changed, some things, that they changed that we feel like maybe didn't play as well. Um, and then we're also going to be covering the next couple chapters of Fire and Blood. We left off, kind of right at the beginning of the dance there, so we cover the show. We're going to be going back and stopping around the time where season 3 is going to pick up. And then we are going to switch our coverage over to A Night of the Seven Kingdoms
Oh.
in preparation for the show coming next summer. So that's going to be
Ah.
fun. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
Um, yeah, but until then, make sure you guys go over to YouTube, follow us at Is Survived by Productions. Make sure to leave a like over there, subscribe, and comment. Um, Make sure you also follow us on Twitter at, well, X, at Is Survived by Productions. Um, Make sure you guys check out all of our other shows also.
Oh,
Uh,
do it.
what?
Oh
Oh,
no,
you're
I'm
trying to get
waiting,
your,
waiting for it to do it. Oh, there it goes. It's
did I do the
going.
thumbs
It's
up?
going.
I don't
Gotta put
see
that
it.
thumbs up,
Oh,
bro.
there it is.
It's probably gonna get cut off. But anyway,
You can follow. I
like
forgot where we
that
were.
put the thumbs down.
Make
Get
sure you
rid
check
of
out
the
our other
thumbs.
shows, the History of the Chorus podcast, where we cover different bands in a core genre. Also, the History of the Chorus After Hours, which is just more of a relaxed look at a lot of those bands. And the Red Right Hand podcast, which covers all 6 seasons of. I still almost said HBO's Peaky Blinders, a very different show.
A lot more blood, more sex.
More blood, more sex.
More blood in the sex. Ew, ew, ew.
BBC, their show, The Peaky Blinders. And hopefully pretty soon we'll be hearing some more about that movie. We'll be getting some casting for that. We can start digging into that, giving some predictions. I've got some, Curtis. I've got some predictions on where the movie is gonna go, who we might be seeing be some of our main players, how far down the line it's gonna be. I've got thoughts, Curtis.
Okay. I think that they're still going for September to start filming, so we'll see. I haven't done any Google searches recently, so I'll have to get back on that.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for riding with us so far this season. And until next week, if you think this has a happy ending, you have not been paying attention.